You understand what is the purpose of this document is? First, we'll just go one by one section. Okay. See, usually, right, in the requirement document, right, it is going to be like this, but it's going to be similar like this. I'm not saying that exactly it's going to be like this. Maybe this is going to get vary from project to project. Okay. So, but the sections are almost, it's going to be very much similar. Maybe the headings uh, may get changed, or otherwise the content which they have given, right, that content is going to get vary based on our project to project here. Okay. So I have just given you one of the link here. So that is, what is that link I just provided? Orange.hrms. See, this is the application. So I have just provided you the document which is related to this particular application, correct? So as I told you, this is one of the human resource management related application where here in this particular document, right, this is going to talk about the particular module. See, we have the complete project. There are many modules are available. In that module, we are having the module called My Information module. Okay, is it right? Is your understandings also is correct or wrong? See, here afterwards, I want the responses from your end also, because basically the theoretical part is done. Here, what is the thing is, like when you enter into a company, right? First thing, if it is a very new project, they are going to provide only this document to you people. And if it is an already existing project, you may get this particular document, requirement document, as well as this application link. So you'll also provided with this link with the username and password. Here already this is a sample website. It's anyway it's a live website only, but we have that username and password which you can log in as an admin user. When I am just going to click on this login, right, it is going to take me as an admin user. If the user log into the system, right, it is taking you to the dashboard page. If normally as an employee user, if he is going to log in, right, see here there is a my info menu is there, right? So you just go and click on this particular my info. See, when the employee logs in, this is the page where it's going to be loaded. So the same thing, like as an employee user, if he's going to log in, what are the things that particularly he needs to do? He needs to be done. So that related document only it is talking about. See, this is the purpose of this document. It's not related to project plan or anything. It is a guide for system architectures, development testing team, and not facing timelines or deliverables. So this documentation is divided into 3 sections. One is project overview related stuff will be there, information architecture related stuff, and site design related stuff. Here in the first section, it is going to talk about the project overview. So when we are just going to talk about the project overview, so who are all the audience? That is the people who are going to use this particular things, this particular module. It is going to talk about that particular module here. So this document is initiated as a complete guide as ESS user. See here, ESS user is nothing but an employee user. ESS, employee service user, like he is the employee user. So if he is, this version of this project is like 3.0, Orange HRMS 3.0. This document is specifically designed for non-specialist. Specialist may find the document as a useful point of reference. By reading this document, you will learn how to use the Orange HRMS through the elements of graphical user interface and what's behind some of the advantages features that are not allowing. See, This in this particular section, right, it is going to explain who is the user who is going to use this particular system. And after reading and understanding this particular document, what is the information he is going to get, how he need to utilize this system. So this purely it is going to be if the customer is going to take this document and he's going to read, right, he will be able to understand how the system is going to behave. So in the similar way, we as a test engineers, we also want to be act like a customer. So now you are just going to become as a ESS user. You are the customer. So you have got this document. You want to read this document and understand. And then you want to try to, if the URL is provided, you can just go log into the system and you can check the document with that corresponding things. Or otherwise, if the document is not provided, you just want to read and understand this document. And based on this particular document, you are going to prepare the test case scenarios and as well as test cases. You are getting it?
Yes.
Yes.
See, okay, fine. So here, like it is going to talk about what are the hardwares and how we are just going to host the application. What are the servers you are going to use, and or what is the database server is like that. He maybe still you may have some detailed information is going to be there. So that is content is going to vary based on the customer to customer and project to project. Okay. So, and what are the information architecture? Like it's going to be there. Login as an Orange HRMS system using your ESS user account that has been created by the HR admin as shown in the figure. That means, see, you are just going to get this application initially. You will be having login username and password, and you will be having some set of login button. Now, if this page is available for you, see, in some cases, right, they may explain little bit detail about this login page, or they are going to give the screenshots like this. Okay. See, as a test engineer, you want to understand what are the test scenarios that you want to cover in this particular login page. So after reading this particular things, after getting into this particular things, you just still go down and just proceed further with the readings. So once you are able to log into the system as an user, it is going to take you to the My Information module section. So that My Information module is going to be like, it looks like this. So in that My Information module is a powerful tool provided by the employees of company with the ability to view relevant information such as personal information and updating the personal information with an interactive enabled PC without having to involve the HR department. The functionalities of this module spans through the entire system, making information available anywhere, anytime. All information is subject to companies' defined security policies, where he or she can only view the information. So see here, see if the employee is login. So already I have logged in using the login system. Employee is going to log into the system. Here, all these informations are going to be displayed as a read-only fields. Some of the fields are going to be an editable fields. So if you want to edit this information, you can just go and click on this edit button. See, as a now, I have logged in as an admin user. If I'm just going to click on this login, it is enabling all the fields for me. But if you are just going to log in as an employee user, right, there is going to be some set of restrictions is going to be there. See here, employee ID cannot be changed by the employee user, and driving license cannot be changed, date of birth cannot be changed. Apart from that, the employee user can modify some other personal information related stuff. So it's going to be like this. So first, this is the document which is for employee. Here I have logged in as an admin user. So little bit things are going to be variations will be there. You just don't consider that real links. You just consider only this document. Here, what are the fields that is enabled? What are the fields that are disabled? How you are just going to edit and save the details. So, and what are the, is there any attachment is there is that is going to be attached in this particular things, or delete attachment or something? So what are the fields it may be? You want to read this document and understand, and also you want to find out, is there any points that are missing in this document? So first, while reading itself, you are just going to understand. So what is the things are, it is like all the things has been mentioned in this document or not. If the document, they did not, they have really missed any functionalities related stuff, or anything is missing in this document, right? You as a test engineer, you want to analyze this document and you want to provide your solutions. Correct? So you want to come up with the question saying that these are all the points that is missing here. So it is given in the screen, but it's not mentioned in the document, or otherwise it is as per the system, it should not work like this. But you have given in like this is you are given like this. So is it really a correct information, or otherwise it's a wrong information? Like that, you want to come up with some set of things, and you just go to the next. See, here, once this is done, right, you can also go to the next screens like contact information, contact details page. So where you are going to enter all the address related informations, and also you can also go to the emergency contact details page, where you are going to enter your emergency contact details page. So like this here, actually they have given one of the thing called photography. Is there photography? It is available here. No, for the as an admin role, if he is going to log in, right? So see here directly, like instead of having a section here, right? If you are just going to click on this particular image, so it is going to take you to the photograph page. So from here, if you have any photos that is available with you, you can just upload your photos through the screen. So that section is going to describe about. Next, to contact information page, and then you just go to the contact information page. So here contact information page will be there. So in the contact information page, what are the things that we need to edit? What are the things that should not be edited? What are the fields that is available here? What are the fields that is like it is getting varied? Based on that, you want to just do an edit and save all these details here. So, and also you are just going to have the emergency contact details. You just, so I think you have read all this document, right? Like you are able to understand very much easily, right? So absolutely, I think there will not be any issue for you people in understanding the things. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. See, now you are able to understand these things, right? So now I'm just going, after reading this document, what is your work, next work is? So first, what you want to do here is, you want to prepare some test case scenarios. See, what for the test case scenarios is required. How we are just going to prepare the test case scenarios means, for example, you take this scenarios can be like, you can just this format can be, you can just keep it this format in any manner. So it is not restricted here. So this is one kind of format which they will be following in this particular project. But in our project, right, we may have a different scenario related document can be maintained. Either we can maintain in the Word file, or we can maintain in the Excel file, whatever the things it may be. But here we are just following the Excel. Okay. So first, initially, you are just going to have a, if you want to prepare the scenarios, so you want to have the section numbers, and there is a column called a request ID is going to be the, this is the column which it is going to refer to this document. See, we are going to prepare our test case scenarios based on the document which they have provided. And then you are just going to have the scenarios here, and then the test cases. It's going to be, we are just going to have the test cases here. Is it right? So in this, but first thing, what I'm just going to do, see, now first as a uh, as an user, ESS user, what I want to do here. So I want to log into the system. If I want to log into the system, I just want to get this login page, right? So here, if I want to test this login page, I want to prepare the scenarios for this particular login page. So what is my test first scenario? When it's going to be login page only, it's going to be my first scenario. See, this is the login page. Under this login page, if I want to test, right, I am just going to write more number of scenarios in the test case document. Here, so I'm just going to take this particular section here that is called like section, it's going to be section ID is going to be 3 here. That is requirement ID 3. I'm just taking from this requirement ID 3 and I have added it here. So next one, login as ESS user. So I'm just going to mark the scenario name as login as ESS user. Here you can also have another column called, one second. Here you can also have a field called scenario ID. So this scenario ID can be anything, like you can make it as log in ESS 1 or something. Okay, ESS underscore 1. Or otherwise you can just make it as simply as ESS underscore 1 or something. See, this scenario ID can be anything, like whatever the things it may be, you are just going to refer. But this requirement ID should be accurately, like you want to take it from this document, for which section you are just going to write this scenarios. So that scenario right now, it is going to be the login page. Login page, you have that scenario in this particular ID. That is the reason I have just given it as a 3. Now, my first scenario name is, if I want to test this login page, my first scenario name is going to be login as ESS user. This is my scenario name. Next one is ESS underscore 2. It's scenario 2. So after login click is done, see here, test cases, if I want to write more number of test cases, I want to write positive test cases, negative test cases, providing correct username, wrong password, or providing correct username with correct password, providing empty username and password and clicking on login button, and these kind of things and all, it is going to be covered in the test cases. Here scenario means just only it is going to be the highlight. So totally after reading this document, you want to prepare one scenario document. So where it is going to be very much, it is going to make your life very much easier to prepare the test cases. Okay. So now in this next page, when I click on login button, if I go to the next page, it is going to take me to the my information page called, see, this is the page you are just going to land at, my information page related stuff. So that related information means, so first initially when the user logs into the system, so you will be able to read all the information, correct? So instead of editing, right, before editing, you are just going to read. So that means you are going to view the personal details information. So when the user logs in, next scenario is going to be viewing of personal details. So this is going to be where it's going to be, this section name is going to be like either it's a 3.1. So that is the requirement ID. 3.1 is the requirement ID, where you are going to prepare one scenario called view personal information. Once you have entered into this personal information page, so once it has been done, you are just going to edit. you want to edit this information, right? Click on the edit button. So that edit related info, edit the personal details is going to happen. This is another scenario. And here itself, we have another scenario called attachment. So you want to prepare, you want to write another scenario called attachment attachment details, like or something. You can have any kind of things. Here you are for editing and attaching. So all these things are going to be covered in this particular section itself, 3.1.1. So you are just going to take it from the 3.1.1 and you are just going to do this particular thing. Here, yeah, it can be like this. So it's going to be like third scenario. It's going to be like fourth scenario. It's going to be like fifth scenario. See, these are all the things that you want to prepare before writing your test cases. Why you want to prepare these scenarios related stuff? See, if you are a more experienced QA engineer, means then you know, like sometimes you can skip this particular scenario document also. Maybe until unless if you are going to get more confident, you have that confidence and everything. Maybe in your project they are not going to ask you to prepare any test case scenario document. You don't want any proof of these things, then you no need to prepare the scenarios. Or otherwise, until unless if they are going to uh, confirm you that you no need to prepare the document, but you want to prepare. If they are not going to say that, it is not required also. If you are going to prepare the scenario document for yourself, right, it is going to make your life very much easier while writing the test cases. You are getting my point. So in this, so we have edit is one of the functionality. You are just going to write it. Here you have attachment section also. Add is there, delete is there. All these functionalities you are going to cover in this attachment details section. If required, you can add these details as a separate scenario, or you can just mingle with this kind of things itself. That depends. Okay, that depends on your the things. Next one is, so once, what is the next document? If you just go drill down, you're just going to the photograph section. So in the photography section, 3.1.2. So 3.1.2 is your requirement ID. And this is the scenario ID, upload ESS user photography. This is one of the scenario. So here, what are the steps you are going to do? You're just going to click on the choose file. You are going to select the file from the desktop or otherwise whatever, wherever you are storing your file, right? You are just going to take it from that point, and then you are just going to click on the upload button to upload. Or otherwise, if already it is uploaded, you can delete it and you can re-upload the things. So whatever the things you want to do, you can do it. For that, we have just prepared one kind of scenario here. The next one, you just go to the next topic, contact details. So like this for contact details. See, like this, you want to prepare one kind of scenarios. You are able to understand the things.
Yes.
See, I want you people to prepare it right now, and like, can you please share it to me so that if there is any changes, or I want you want to prepare for the entire document for this particular detail, the complete module. Just you prepare only for the scenarios. See, based on the scenarios, I'm just going to explain you the test cases also. So is it fine for you to prepare now itself, or otherwise you are just going to prepare it later? It's your wish. So if you are going to prepare later, means that is fine for me. Or if you are going to prepare now itself and share it to me, it is also okay for me.
We'll make it later.
You will be doing it later.
Yes. And we'll share with you tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, fine. Then not a problem. See, like this, you want to complete this scenarios document. Okay. So you just note down this scenarios document. And now see, if I want to prepare the test cases for this particular, now scenarios you have done. by just looking into this document and all. Now you want to write a functionalities checking for each and every section. So first you take the login page. See what are the scenarios you want to cover in this login page. So first thing if you want to check this page, right, how you are just going to prepare the test cases. See, if you want to prepare any test cases, right, there will be some set of standardized format is going to be there. See, this is one kind of the format. Okay, that means already I have shown you section number, test case ID, requirement ID, scenarios, and the module name, test case description. That means test case data, pre-condition, post-condition. See, for first we'll take this login page. So for login page, that means the first scenario, you are just going to take this first scenario and you are just going to prepare the, you are just going to start preparing the requirements, test cases for this particular first scenario. And for that, right, you want to prepare, first of all, this section number is 1 to 3, you are just going to maintain, and a test case ID. See, for each and every applications, right, test case ID is going to get vary. Here, in some scenarios, right, we may have 3 characters of your application name and 3 characters of your module name, and also if there is any other particularly 0001 or something like that, we are just going module name, and you may have some other things. Any code is there means either scenario name. Here this is nothing but the scenario ID. If you want, you can prepare your test case ID like this, means based on your company process, or otherwise you can also prepare your test cases like this, test case TC underscore 00002, sorry, 00001, 0002, or something like that. You can just prepare the test case ID. See, it can be, it is going to get vary based on the, like, or otherwise you can prepare your test case like TC1, TC2, TC3 or something. Or otherwise, if it is login related test case, means you are just going to have test case underscore, so login underscore, what is that, like, it's going to be like my info underscore login. You're just going to write it as a my info underscore login underscore, like either 003 or something, 0003 or something. So your test case name can vary based on your application and requirements. So there is no standards which all the companies are going to follow the similar one. So this may get vary based on your company to company and process to process. Is it correct? Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, this you understood, right? Like this, you want to prepare the test case name, test case ID. Next one is requirement. See, for this particular test case, so what is the scenario you are going to cover here? Login page. What is the requirement ID? It is 3. So you are just going to follow the 3 ID number 3 here. Next one is scenario ID or scenario name. Here you just, what is the scenario you are just following here? ECS1, right? So this is the scenario. We are just going to have this scenario like this. For the login page. Okay, login page test case. Now module name. Under which module it comes in? So module name, anyway, you know, right? It's my information module. It's going to be my information module. You are going to name it as my information module here. This is going to be my information module. So you want to prepare like this. So it's going to be like my information module is going to be like this. Okay, and then this is module name. Your module name. You got it right. What is module name is here. Okay. So, and this one is test case description. So here you can just mention either test case scenario ID, or you can also mention the test case, the scenario name. Scenario name is ESS user login, right? User login. That is your scenario name. Here, either you can provide this scenario ID or scenario name. This one depends on your company, like your project specific related stuff. You standards, you follow this kind of things. Okay. See, sometimes you may refer scenario IDs. Sometimes you may not refer the scenario IDs. That depends on your project in standards. Okay. Now, test case description. What is the test case description you are talking about? See, initially, what is the thing I just want to do here? I want to log in as an log into this application, correct? So for that, log in with the provided credentials. That means where you are going to log in. See here the test data. This is the URL you want to mention here. In which URL you are just going to log in with valid credentials. Valid means correct. Valid or correct credentials. Correct credentials means correct username and password. It's going to be correct username and password. You're just going to do a login into the system by using this particular URL. So this is the test data, means nothing but by using which data, which URL you are just going to test. Test data, this URL, you are just going to click on this particular link and you are just going to log in, and you will be having the preconditions here. Precondition means it's going to be like ESS user should be created by admin and should be able to access the URL. ESS user should be created by admin and should be able to access the URL. That means this is your preconditions. So before you are just going to log into the system, what is your precondition? Means, so before log into the system, what you want to be? So you already the username and password which you are just going to use here, that username and password should be created by the admin user. You are getting this point or not? So that is called precondition. Pre means before you start this scenario testing. So what is the precondition? ESS user should be created by the admin user and should be able to access the URL. So your username and password already it should be created by this admin user. Then only you will be able to log into the system. You are getting this point or not?
Yes.
This is called precondition. Post condition means after you using this username and password, when you are going to log into the system, what is the expected result is going to be? Post. That means after doing this testing, what is the result? So ESS user is able to log in successfully into this ESS HR portal. ESS user is able to log in successfully into the ESS HR portal. So that is a HR portal. You can mention this or you don't need to mention. You can just shorten the things also. Okay. See, this description you want to write. This is the post condition after the test case is done. Now see, this is pre and post condition. You just leave it about these two things. It's going to be the very much common related stuff. Now, if you go to this particular point, here the test case status is going to be either this test case is pass or fail. This one you are not going to fill this column right now. You are just going to fill this column at the time of execution. Now you are preparing the test case only. So the other thing you want to see here is expected result. What is the expected result? The user should be able to log in and personal details page should be displayed. That means, so if the user is going to log into the system, this should launch this personal details page on. So that's what you were expected. See, what is meant by expected result? if you are going to log in with the correct username and password, so what is the expected? It's going to be. This is your expected result. But actually, what it is going to happen? This actual result is going to, when they are going to fill means at the time of, see, by reading this particular document, they are going to enter the username and password and going to click on this login button, and they are going to check what is the real output. We just got it in after executing. That we are just going to fill at the time of execution. These actual results are going to be filled at the time of execution part. So here you will not write anything. So in this actual result, while preparing the test case, so this is going to be the final result. It is going to be entered by the test engineers or QA engineers who is going to test this application. Okay. So at the time, for example, in this scenario, you just think how you are going to write this. User successfully log into this ESS portal and launched personal details page with below given details. Right. You are getting this point. So
Yes.
user, so this is the expected result only. You are just going to write this actual result and comments. If comments is required, you can just use this comment. But actual result, you are not going to write while preparing the test cases. So that actual results are